Hi everybody, my name is Grace Smith with the Wise News Network, and today I'm reporting to you from Cherryville, North Carolina, which was in the path of the severe thunderstorm that affected Lincoln, Gaston, and Cleveland counties in North Carolina. A tornado warning was issued at approximately 3 p.m. on May 8, 2024 for Lincoln County, Cleveland County, and Gaston counties. According to Gaston County Emergency Management and Fire Services, Gaston County did receive most of the damage in this storm. However, Lincoln County and Cleveland County did experience some damage. The storm hit Cherryville at approximately 3:10 p.m. and the electricity went out around town shortly after. According to Gaston County Emergency Management and Fire Services, around 37% of Gaston County lost power during the storm, and Cherryville is no exception. City workers are working diligently to make sure power is restored to all areas of the Cherryville area. According to City Manager Brian Dalton, approximately 500 homes are still without power, and there is no estimation for that restoration. Now we will hear from Don Millwood, a resident of Cherryville, North Carolina, who lives in a historic home. A tree fell on top of his house and it experienced quite severe damage. All right, Don, can you please explain to us a little bit about what you experienced during the storm?
It was a torrential downpour of rain, so dense that you could barely see 10 feet in front of you. It all came from the north, and then the wind picked up severely, and because of that, you see the damage behind us, and that was because of the rain and the wind. And so we have trees down around the neighborhood. I have a lot of equipment upstairs, and so I didn't want it to get damaged, so my neighbors have taken those pieces of equipment in, and they take care of them. As long as they need to be over there, they'll take care of it. So it's going to be months and months before this is repaired. So, and they don't care, they'll take care of it. So our neighbors always come together to help each other out. When they're on vacation, I take care of them. So it's give and take in that neighborhood. We also have a lot of people coming from out of Cherryville just to walk up and down this neighborhood. So I see that all the time, and so it's a good neighborhood to be in. So I'm not worried too much about this damage. It can be repaired, and all my family is safe, and that's the most important thing.
According to the National Weather Service, the storm was a severe thunderstorm that was capable of producing tornadoes. According to the National Weather Service, winds reached up to 70 miles per hour in this area. Chad Brown, chairman for the Gaston County Commission, declared a state of emergency at approximately 6:15 p.m. because the storm was an all-hands-on-deck situation for every station in Gaston County. Gaston County was able to open a shelter at the Adult Recreation Center in Gastonia, North Carolina. On top of that, the Cherryville Fire Department did open its doors to families in need of support and help and shelter. They sheltered approximately 10 families, according to Chief Wofford. Lance Folk, the Deputy Chief of Emergency Management and Fire Services for Gaston County, said that Gaston County processed approximately 1,200 calls for emergency services. EMS Chief Mark Lanphier said that every call was addressed. However, due to hazards in the roads and closed roads, response times were a little bit delayed. Chief Lanphier also stated that there was one fatality from this storm. The fatality occurred when a tree fell on top of a vehicle. The other passenger in the vehicle was injured and rushed to a hospital immediately. Chief Lanphier also reported that there was one home birth. He himself was on his way to respond to this call when he encountered hazards in the road, preventing him from being able to reach that location. However, other members of his response team did make it in time and assisted the individual in the birth. Now we will hear from Wade Stroup, who is another Cherryville resident whose property also experienced damage during the storm. Fortunately for Wade, his house was not damaged. However, his vehicles were. Do you mind telling us a little bit about what you experienced during yesterday's storm?
I was actually here at my home yesterday and heard the warnings and the anticipation of the storm coming. So I kind of watched it approach over the horizon, the skies get darker and blacker, and saw it coming. So I went inside to kind of weather the storm, and through some back windows I saw the trees behind me just really whipping and tossing about, and I knew it was pretty serious, but certainly never expected what we ended up seeing 24 hours later. So I was inside actually working on the computer while I still had some power, and then I just heard kind of a crunching sound and a thud, and I looked out the window and saw this big tree had fallen across the street and onto my vehicles, and fortunately it didn't get to our house, but did some significant damage to the vehicles. But otherwise, I'm safe. Neighbors, immediate neighbors are all safe and healthy, and not a lot of structural damage right here to houses, which is we're very thankful for. But obviously down the street and other people you've talked to have not fared so well. So in light of everything, and the problems we did have here and I've had here, is still very blessed and thankful, because it could have been much worse, obviously. So.
Absolutely. And one thing, a testament to Cherryville, is that the community tends to rally in times of strife. Has that been your experience since the storm yesterday?
Yeah, certainly, especially from our immediate neighbors. We were all gathered last night and checking on each other, and folks stopping from other parts of town, even here, and checking on me personally and neighbors, and just asking what they could do, what we could do. And so, yeah, I mean, that's to be expected in Cherryville, because that's kind of the nature and the history and the heritage of Cherryville is good people, good neighbors, and friends helping friends. And I know there's a lot of less fortunate folks than we are that have some significant structural damage, and they'll see through that. But I know if there are any real strong needs from those that need help and need assistance, that the good people of Cherryville will step right in and do all they can do, for sure.
According to the Cherryville Fire Chief, Jason Wofford, between 40 and 50 calls for emergency service were made to the Cherryville Fire Department. Between 8 and 9 homes experienced severe damage due to trees falling on top of them. On the other hand, dozens of homes experienced minor damage due to falling limbs from trees. Chief Wofford also expressed his gratitude to his team for their quick response times, and he expressed that he wants everyone to stay safe during this time while they are still cleaning up debris and making sure our roads are safe to drive on and safe to resume business as normal. As you can see, the city of Cherryville is very busy to respond to the events from yesterday's storm. They are working diligently to make sure power is restored to the entire city. They are also working diligently to clear the roads and to make sure everyone can get back to business as usual. I'm sure there will be more updates to come with this story, as this was a very recent event. Please stay tuned to the Wise News Network for more storm-related news. For the Wise News Network, I'm Grace Smith.